Hello, welcome to My Dreams Academy. In this class, we are going to see TS NPDCL Assistant Engineer Examination Solutions, which is held on 15th July 2018. Okay, and this paper is set C. Set C. First question. Which of the following is not a desirable characteristics of insulating material used for cables? Question is not desirable. First question. Not desirable characteristics of insulating material. Okay, this is the question. Option A, high insulation resistance high. Option B, okay, low dielectric strength, and option C, good mechanical properties, and another one is non hygroscopic. So which of these are not a desirable characteristic of insulating material? You take any insulating material, the insulating material of insulation resistance should be high. So it is a desirable characteristic only. The question is not desirable characteristics. This is desirable. And C, good mechanical strength. Yes, it should have good mechanical strength. Okay, and non-hygroscopic. Yes, it should be non-hygroscopic. Now, the insulating material, definitely the insulating material should have high dielectric strength. Okay, so this is not desirable characteristics. So answer is B. So insulating material should have high insulation resistance, should have a good mechanical properties, and should have non-hygroscopic. Similarly, we'll go for a second question. What is the second question? That is bus admittance matrix of a power system. Bus admittance matrix. So Y bus. We need to talk about Y bus. Option A, that is full matrix. Option B, that is identity matrix. Option C, that is diagonal matrix. Option D, sparse matrix. Now see, Y bus matrix. Okay, Y bus matrix is a mostly diagonal matrix, but other than diagonal elements also present in that, so it is a sparse matrix. Okay, now about this one, full matrix, impedance matrix, that is Z bus matrix is a full matrix. Okay, not identity matrix. Y bus matrix is mostly the dominating one is a diagonal elements. The dominant one is a diagonal matrix, but other than diagonal elements also present in that Y bus, so it is called sparse matrix or sparse matrix. And next one, we are going to see third question. What is the third question? That is the inertia constants of two group of machines which do not swing together. Option A, that is M1 plus M2. Option B, that is M1 M2 by M1 plus M2. Okay, if the question is they do swing together, if rendu swinging together, so answer A is correct. If does not swing together, so answer B is correct. So which one is correct? That is this one, M1 into M2 by M1 plus M2. If does not swing together, the answer is B. If swing together, the answer is M1 plus N2. Next, fourth question. What is the fourth question that we are going to see? Fault current. So fault current, IF, fault current is 2000 ampere. Fault current 2000 ampere. The relay setting is 50%. We need to set the relay up to 50%. Next, the CT ratio. What is the CT ratio? That is 400 by 5. Now we need to calculate the plug setting multiplier. We need to calculate plug setting PSM, plug setting multiplier. Okay, so how to calculate plug setting multiplier? That is, plug setting multiplier is calculated by total fault current, that is 2000 ampere, divided by CT ratio. CT ratio is 400 by 5 into the relay setting is 50%. If the relay setting is mentioned like this, that is 10 ampere. If it is mentioned like this, you have to consider 10 ampere directly. Then, but here relay setting multiplier is 50%. The meaning of that is 50% of 5 ampere. Okay, 50% of this one, that is nothing but 2.5. Like this we need to consider. If the relay setting multiplier in amps, you have to consider directly that value. If it is mentioned in the percentage, you have to take that percentage, the percentage in this value, So 2.5, 2s are 2 1s are 200. So 0 0 0 0 will get cancelled. 20 by 2, that is 10 ampere. 20 by 2, 10 ampere. Which answer is correct? That is option D. Option D is correct. Now we are going to see fifth question. What is the question? That is a three-phase circuit breaker. Rating of the circuit breaker is 2000 MVA. 2000 MVA. This is the rating of the circuit breaker, and 33 kV. We need to calculate breaking current. We know two things, that is breaking current and making current. How to calculate the breaking current? The breaking current IB can be calculated like this, that is 2000 MVA divided by, this is 3 phase, so you have to write √3 into 33 kV. If you calculate this one, so it will give 35 kilo ampere. So which option is correct? Option A is correct. Now this is a breaking current. Now if you wanted to calculate making current, how we can calculate making current? The making current will be calculated like this, 2.55 times of 35 ampere. If you calculate this one, it will give 89 ampere. Okay, breaking current 35 kilo ampere, making current 89 kilo ampere. Like that we need to calculate 2.55 times of breaking current. Making current equal to 2.55 times of breaking current. Next we are going to see sixth question. What is the sixth question? That is Newton-Raphson method. Okay, for a Newton-Raphson method we have a one equation. That equation is linear differential equation, linear algebraic equation, non-linear differential equation, non-linear algebraic equation. Okay, definitely the Newton-Raphson method is not a differential one. If you go for a power swings, there is a differential one. Okay, there is a differential one. If you wanted to calculate acceleration, that is d square delta by dt square, this is a differential coefficient. But in the Newton-Raphson there is no differential coefficient, so it definitely should be a algebraic coefficient. That too non-linear algebraic equation. So option D is correct. Option D is correct. Now go for a seventh question. Now go for a second question. The objectives of a load frequency control. The objectives of a load frequency control. We know we have a load frequency control topic in our syllabus. So the objectives of a load frequency control are, first one, option A, to keep the frequency and tie line power approximately constant. Option B, to keep voltage approximately constant. Option C, to keep reactive power approximately constant. Option D, to keep current approximately constant. So which one is correct? Okay. So question enti ante, what are the objectives of load frequency control? Load frequency control, LFC. Okay, what are the objectives? That is frequency and tie line power should be kept constant. So option A is correct. Load frequency, what are the objectives of load frequency control? That is frequency and tie line power should be kept constant. Now go for a eighth question. So inertia constant is given. First of all, S is given, that is 10 MVA, and inertia constant is 4. What are the units of inertia constant? Here inertia constant units are not given, but we know inertia constant units, that is megajoules for MVA. This is the unit for what? That is inertia constant. H is equals to 4 megajoules for MVA. But we need to calculate that the energy stored in the rotor at a synchronous speed. How to calculate energy? Energy should be in megajoules. If you multiply S with H, SH, okay, SH is a energy stored, that is 4 into 10. So it will give 40 megajoules. But observe the options. Option A is 400 megajoules. Option B is 400 kilojoules. Option C 25 megajoules. Option D 25 kilojoules. So which option is correct? So no option is correct. So in the key it is given that not applicable. So what is the correct answer? That is 40 megajoules. 40 megajoules. No option is correct in the below options. Go for a ninth question. What is the ninth question? That is the insulation resistance of a cable of a length 10 kilometer. Okay. We have a one cable of 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers length. The insulation resistance is 1 mega ohm. Now its resistance for 50 kilometers. 10 kilometers ki 1 mega ohm. Then what happened for a 50 kilometers? We know already the insulation resistance is directly proportional to 1 by L. That is nothing but the insulation resistance is inversely proportional to length. So I can write this one, R2 by R1 is equals to L1 by L2. Now from this I need to calculate R2. R2 is equals to L1 by L2. What is the length? That is 10. What is the second length? That is 50 into R1. What is the value of R1? That is 1 mega ohm. This will give 0.2 mega ohm. So which option is correct? Option A is 1 mega ohm. Option B is 5 mega ohm. Option C is 0.2 mega ohm. Option D is 2 mega ohm. So option C is correct. Option C is correct for this question. This question number is 9. Question number is 9. Next question, that is 10th question. The per unit impedance of circuit element. So per unit impedance enta anta 0.15. This is the per unit impedance of a circuit. Now if the base kV and base MVA are offed, okay, we know that how to calculate per unit. X per unit can be calculated like this, that is X actual into MVA by kV base whole square. Like that we can able to calculate x per unit, and if we have a 2 x per units, how we can calculate? That is x per unit new is equals to x per unit old into MVA new by MVA old into kV base old divided by kV base new. Like this we need to calculate. X per unit already given, that is 0.15, MVA new and MVA old. MVA new is halved, that is, let us consider this is 0.5 and old one is 1. Similarly, this is square, kV base whole square, okay, old one is 1 and this one become half, that is 0.5 whole square, 0.5 whole square, 0.5 will get cancelled, 0.15 divided by 0.5, so it will give 0.3. So which option is correct? That is, first option is 0.075, second option is 0.15, third option is 0.3 and fourth option is 0.60. So option C is correct. Option C is correct. That is 0.3. Thank you all. Thank you all. From next video onwards, we are planning to do videos on all the previous questions. For every video, we do video for 0 to 10 questions. Then after 11 to 20 questions, like that. For every video contains 10 questions. All the previous year questions we are going to do. Thank you all.